Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another live hangout vid. Let me just test the values and make sure everybody can hear me just fine. Give me a thumbs up in the comment section and or just type in the chat box and let me know. Let me just test the values and make sure everybody can hear me just fine. Give me a thumbs up in the comment section or just type in the chat box. All right, there we go. All right, it seems like everything is good here. I got a couple people coming in slowly. Well, you know what, guys? I apologize for not doing these hangouts earlier than I should. Obviously, I have a long schedule. Especially started the new job a couple months ago. Handling more management responsibilities, whatnot, so it could take a little bit out of your time. But I try and find my best to stay active as long as I could in the realm of boxing, whatnot. But you guys know, most recently I've been engaging with the with the bitch in Taiwan, who's has the audacity to call the LDBC or anyone who's affiliated with them, house Negroes. And be honest with you, he doesn't really know the term house Negroes, just like he doesn't know who Harry Tubman is when he slandered her and said that her face was disgraceful to be put on a U.S. dollar bill. Which he denied and later apologized when he got caught on, denying it. But it is what it is. All right. I'll get to him later, but I wanted to go over the fights real quickly. Talk about Pacquiao and Matthysee, and I want to talk about some other stuff as well. So I'm catching up a little bit here. So I did watch the fight yesterday. And to be honest with you, I thought this was, obviously a bit of a crossroads fight between two men. Pacquiao and Matthysee, that is. And both men, obviously, many felt that they're at the end of it, particularly Manny Pacquiao. Obviously, we all know that he's been in very, 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 very tough fights throughout, his career, for the most part. And, based off his last, let's say his last performances against Jeff Horn or last performance against Jeff Horn, many would assume that would, he should just pack it in and call it a day. Of course, he's continuing to fight. And going into this, I don't recall who I predicted to win this. But I don't know. Maybe I picked Matthysee to win it. I'm not going to deny that. If I did, maybe I did. But I would say, though, that if anybody who's at the end of it more so than Pacquiao, I would say it was or Pacquiao Matthysee, I should say. I would say it was probably Matthysee because I just think that, not Matthysee, I thought Pacquiao because of his wars and whatnot and the opponents that he's fought, the caliber, he's fought big punchers, despite, the catch weights and all that. He's fought a lot of big punchers in his career. And not saying Matthysee hasn't fought any big punches himself, but the longevity obviously goes to Pacquiao. So I assume that Matthysee is going to give the upper hand on him because he's a naturally bigger man than Manny Pacquiao. And from the fight, from the jumps, from the start of the fight, all I can say is that I didn't expect Lucas Matthysee to show up the way he did. I just didn't think he was really mentally there. I don't think he was really focused. He wasn't really letting his hands go. Pacquiao, which is surprisingly, was actually fighting off the front foot and flat-footed in the first few rounds, 3 or 4 rounds, I should say. And he was putting the pressure on Matthysee, and Matthysee just couldn't, couldn't let his hands go. He couldn't find the angles because you're dealing with a tricky southpaw in Pacquiao, and he's very good at hiding in his short left hook coming in. And obviously, he put Matthysee down in the 3rd round. He put him down in 3 times in his fight. I think in the 5th round, he hit him with a stiff right jab or a little right cross to the temple. But it was such a weird delay reaction that Matthysee even went down one knee. And I'm wondering, whoa, hold on here. Did Pacquiao even connected there? I don't know. But, if he did connect, I don't know. But maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But the thing is, I looked at the replay again. I thought it was a bit of a grace, but it did put Matthysee down. But that was such a long delay reaction. I just that's kind of odd. But the first knockdown with the uppercut in the inside, and Matthysee just fell back. And yes, he looked very, very, a little bit shaken there. And then he started to let his hands go a little bit, I think in the 5th round, I believe. Around that you could say it was even a little bit. You probably I could give him that round, but I really thought I swept this Pacquiao. I swept this fight for Pacquiao. I just think that Matthysee just wasn't really there. He just really wasn't really doing anything. He just wasn't letting his hands go. He looked, mentally shot, in my opinion. To me, he looks like a guy that probably knows that if he can't get his way in this fight, he's going to mentally quit. Kind of similar to fighters like Zab Judah and Ricardo Mayorga. It's like those guys, when they can't get their way and they know they're going to be in a tough fight or fight that they know they can't get things to, that they don't have things in their way or in their advantage, they're going to mentally give up. And that's what I seen him at Matthysee. I said after the 5th round, or I believe that was it. I was like, this dude's not going to win. He's mentally giving up. Of course, the fight was stopped after Pacquiao hit him with another short uppercut in the inside in the 7th, and the fight was waved off. And Pacquiao is now the WBA regular welterweight champion. Keith Thurman still holds the super title now that he's injured. What's going to happen with that? Will Pacquiao be elevated to super champion, or will Keith Thurman continue to hold the super title, and then they'll mandate Pacquiao and Thurman to fight for the to fight for the the unify the super unify the consolidate, I should say. Well, not say consolidate, but it's not exactly unifying. It's that you're a mandatory champion, basically. You're a second tier champion being mandatory to the real champion. So that's what's happening. And if the WBA is going to sanction that fight and they're going to order it, why not? Or if that doesn't, if that falls through, then you have Pacquiao versus Crawford that could be made, or you got Pacquiao versus Lomachenko. That's the fight that people are pretty much talking about now. So I don't know, man. We'll see what Manny does. He scored his knockout victory. That's the first knockout victory he's had in 9 years since Miguel Cotto, which was a catchweight fight. Oh, catchweight fight. Okay, catchweight slash and also a same day weigh-in fight. Anyways, it is what it is. He still get credit for beating Cotto. In my book, still a good win on his resume. In other news, we have Regis Prograis, who broke down Velasco, and for the winner that was eliminator to get a bid, or I should say a slot in the WBSS, which is the 140-pound WBSS tournament, which is now complete. Rocky Fielding captures the WBA title. Congratulations, Rocky Fielding. Other than that, Carlos Canzanales has KO Lou Ben in the 12th round, who retained his regular WBA flyweight title. And Lou Ben was actually got a title shot, well, quote unquote, a legit title shot in his second title fight. And of course, he failed and he got destroyed by Canzanales, whatnot. And now, as far as the other stuff, Kell Brook, let's get into that real quickly. I know I'm late here, guys, so I don't expect much reaction here, but it's all good though. Kell Brook versus Brandon Cook is off. Brook decided to now he no longer wants to. No longer. Kell Brook is off. He's out with an ankle injury, so he won't be on the Dillian Whyte and the Joseph Parker undercard. And it's a bit of a shame because Brook really needs to be active now. I mean, I know he's suffered 2 heartbreaking losses to Golovkin and Spence, 2 knockout losses, whatnot, and then kind of came back and rebounded against Sergey Rabchenko, who he knows very well, has been his sparring partner for many years. But if he really wants to get into the mix with the 154 pounders, he's got to be active. I know, look, injuries do happen. I understand that. There's something, some fighters can't control, like Thurman, quote unquote. But the fact is that, it's just still a setback either way. You just got to be active. You cannot have things like that kind of derail your activity in a way. I mean, you got to do your best to be careful and take precautionary steps to keep yourself healthy during, your time out of the ring or during your time in training camp, to fight. So it's unfortunate. What does that mean for the Whyte and Parker card? It's still a pretty good card either way. You got Chisora versus Takam, which should be an interesting fight. Then you have Katie Taylor fighting on the undercard too. She's defending her. I think she's defending her unified lightweight titles, WBA and IBF. Well, we'll see. But I don't know if I'm hearing this correctly. I could be wrong. That I heard that what's up. 1224529. I know I'm very late, sister. I'm very late. I just wanted to jump on here and say my piece to a certain individual and cover some boxing news. I don't know. Like I said, I heard something from another UK channel, and I heard the ramblings that there's some bit of issues going on with the Pike and on the Parker and White fight as far as advertisers concerned. Now, if I heard correctly, I don't know what's going on with that, but you know, at the end of the day, they're going to still have that card. You know, the fight's still on schedule, and I don't think it's nothing's going to derail it. So it's you know, we'll see, and I'm looking forward to that fight. I really want to see that fight. It's an interesting matchup, and you have another interesting heavyweight matchup on the undercard, which is Azor and Takam, which I mentioned. So we'll see. All gravy, yeah. Well, speaking of gravy, well, I don't eat gravy no more. I'm a vegan, so I'm a vegan. Trust me, if you go vegan, you can't go wrong with that. You can't go back. I mean, this is like one of the best choices I've made in my life, health wise. You know, I know veganism get criticism, you know, get some bit of subject to criticism, but there's nothing wrong with it. You know, all plant based foods, diets. I mean, you feel a lot energetic, you feel more fresh, you feel a little bit younger. You know, when you convert to veganism. And I did that 3 years ago. So, you know, made one of the best decisions I made in my life. Sorry, I ramble on about the gravy stuff. But anyways, Pacquiao. I mean, obviously, I mean, I need to go back to Pacquiao. What do you guys think he should do next? I mean, should he go ahead and pursue the likes of Crawford or Lomachenko? Or obviously, I don't see him fighting a PBC fighter. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, Thurman is a PBC fighter, so we'll have to see what the WBA does if they sanction that fight, and let's see what Pacquiao and Arum does in that situation. We'll see. It's 1 2 2 4 5 2 9. So it's a saying, and that's awesome that you're a vegan. Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, it's one of the most, you know, one of the most important decisions and one of the best decisions I made in my life. And when I have my little boy, you know, my wife and I are talking about having kids, but the fact is that we're gonna teach our kids to be vegan, so or they're not gonna be having no meats or anything like that, no dairy. They're gonna be all having plant-based foods, plain and simple. Um, what else we got here? Now, as far as Pacquiao's concerned, what do we see him doing at this point? Where does he go from here? Again, the Thurman fight is up in the air. That's up to WBA to decide whether they're going to sanction it or not. Should be an interesting fight. Who do I favor to win that fight? I don't know, man. I know Manny looked good against Matthysee. It seemed like he's gained some bit of his form back. He still got his sharpness back, so it looks like him switching trainers to Blue Boy did some wonders. Now the fact is that can he compete against those fresher welterweights? You got Danny Garcia, who by the way did turn out to fight against Pacquiao. So let's not negate that. I mean, if Danny Garcia does decide, he wants to take a Pacquiao fight, and if it's offered to him again, why not take it? And we'll see. Can we see him against Shawn Porter? Oh no, I don't think Aaron will put him in there against Porter. That's an extremely dangerous fight right there because Porter is big. And I know Manny Pacquiao's been there with big men, like Antonio Margarito, for example. But Margarito is not as he's not as crude. He's not. Well, he's a crude fight. He was a crude fighter, but he was not as athletic as Porter in a way, and he's not as quick as Porter, and he doesn't have that rugged style like Porter did. Does I should say, and like I said, Porter is a naturally bigger man. Yeah. So I don't I don't see him going there in the lights against Shawn Porter. Danny Garcia, like I said, that's a pop that I could see that up. I could see him in there and how he matches up against him, I should say, if Danny Garcia wants to take the fight. Errol Spence, scratch that. Forget about that. Aaron's not putting him in there against Errol Spence. Obviously, he's got the WBA regular title, so there's no way he could fight those guys unless he vacates it. Let's be real. Well, Porter he could fight, or Garcia if they, whoever doesn't become a champion. But the fact is that if he wants to fight the other champions, he's got to give. Which is Spence and who the winner or Thurman. Obviously, that's a mandated fight. But whoever's the winner of Garcia and Porter, he's got to drop the regular belt. That's the way it is. Or you have who the other welterweights you have there. Sergey Lipinets, I heard, is moving up to 147. So I don't know. Maybe that's a fight they can make. But Lipinets himself is pretty dangerous too. So, naturally bigger guy. And is a lot more fresh, even though he lost to Mikey Garcia. But I guess Aram could see the limitations of Lipinets. And, they could probably make that fight. They could. They probably could possibly go that route. But that is Al Heyman fighter. So we know Aram doesn't like to really do business with Heyman and his PBC brand. So we'll see. He fought Horn, so Porter is a no. Exactly. 1224529 says, I wish he would retire because I don't want to see him get hurt by these younger men fighters. Yeah, I agree. Sister, I agree. I mean, Manny doesn't really have nothing left to prove. I know people are ecstatic that he looked great against Matisse. He's got a knockout victory, something he hasn't had in 9 years. And it's pretty interesting too the way he celebrated that knockout victory. It seemed like to him that knockout victory was more like a redemption for him because he felt so much joy when he got that knockout victory. I think it kind of bothered him that he couldn't knock guys out after 9 years, because as a fighter, that does kind of affect you somewhat from a mental standpoint. I mean, yeah, I'm a supposed fighter, but I can't knock these guys out. I know I'm beginning to win in some way, but I want to, close the show in certain ways, and that's what Manny Pacquiao does. He's known to close shows, and he wasn't able to do that in 9 years until now. So he seemed very rejoiced after that knockout win. And another thing too, some people felt that he was, like myself, written him off and say, you know what, this is it, man. Why are you continuing this? You don't have nothing left to prove. He really doesn't. And I'm happy for him too. I'm happy he's able to redeem himself. He's able from that knockout in a way. Like I said, he doesn't really have nothing left to prove. He could just call it a day, man. You've beaten the best. You fought everyone you could fight. You've had many Hall of Fame fights. You've had pound for pound fights. I mean, the one thing I can critique, and yes, everyone's resume is critique. Everyone's resume, I should say, is a subject of critique, just like any all-time great is. The only thing I say about Pacquiao is the strikes I have against him is his many catchweight fights and his what else? And I mean, that's about it. Just more so his catchweight fights. I mean, I really wasn't really too much of a fan of him doing that, even though those catchweight fights did result to good wins. But the fact is that he didn't, these catchweight fights. There's some fights, there was not some fights, but other than that, yeah, he's an all-time great. He doesn't have to answer to anybody. But the fact is, he didn't win any unification titles. It happens. It's a fight. You can't win them all. But he never been a unified champion. That's one thing you have to hold against him. Now, I don't know. Let's see here. Speaking of unified titles, I know SHAWN is calling the Golovkin and Canelo fight a unification bout. Canelo doesn't have an alphabet belt, even though he is a lineal champion. I don't, because when you're a lineal champion, you hold the alphabet belt. They don't call you. You're not deemed as a unified champion. So that is pretty weird. But I'll get to that later. He is an ATG, and he doesn't have to prove anything. The only thing I can think of is his philanthropy and money. Yeah, I mean, he has his political career. He's very respected in the Philippines. He's an iconic figure there. Yeah, he has nothing left to prove. He could just call it a day. He really does. He just call it a day. And I know Jeff Horn wants to rematch with Pacquiao. He called him out for a rematch. Jeff Horn, I don't know, man. You're gonna have to. Jeff Horn's gonna have to really get a couple tune-up fights before he considers a rematch. Because if you think he's gonna go in there fray and bully Pacquiao like he did in the first fight, I don't think Pacquiao's gonna make his adjustments. Believe me, he will. He's going to recognize the mistake he made against Jeff Horn, and he's going to adjust and beat him up like he really beat him up in the 9th round, which Jeff Horn could have got knocked out. So in that fight, what else we got to talk about here? Demetrius Andrade signs, Demetrius Andrade signs with not a Matchroom, but Dazn. Eddie Hearn. Let me see. Let me look that up. I'm gonna bring up the story right here. Then I'm gonna get to Sean Newman. Play that dumbass video he made about me. He just doesn't get it. I mean, the man is his brain is just not there. And I'm gonna get on him. I'll be right back, guys. All right, 1, 2, 2. going on, Texan? Okay. Sorry about that. Going good. So anyhow, hey Dan, is the Whyte-Parker fight going to be on the zone? Not that I know of, no. And the thing is that the zone, I did actually sign up for their mailing list, and I haven't gotten anything back on it yet. So my indication is that it's not available here in the state. So I don't know. I mean, it may be on the zone elsewhere, but as far as the states, no. And I'm still waiting on, on the launch date, and we haven't gotten anything. So the only thing I know is that we are Eddie Hearn expects to make an announcement on the fighters they've signed on the 18th, I think, of the 17th. Yeah, there's supposed to be an announcement on their roster. I'm not sure about the Matchroom USA roster, but I do know well, let me say this. If they sign to the zone, that means they're signed to Matchroom USA. I guess that's a possibility. You're right, because obviously that's Eddie Hearn's licensing fee. I'm sorry, his $1 billion licensing agreement that he got from the zone, the men behind it. So obviously, their stipulation is that if you want a piece of the pie, you have to sign with Matchroom. So that would probably be the case. So Demetrius Andrade did sign with Matchroom. So part of that deal is if you want a piece of that pie, you have to sign with Matchroom, and that's the requirement. And that's the reason why the guy likes the Charlo brothers, Broner, Wilder, you name it. Those Mikey Garcia, those marquee fighters, that's why they declined the offer, because they like to remain as free agents. So, whatnot. So, anyways, let me look at the article here. And I know that Andre has been mandated to fight Billy Joe Saunders, so we'll see how that goes, how that purse bid transpired. So, Demetrius Andrade is parted way with his former promoters. He has a new one, which is Eddie Hearn. The 30-year-old Andrade is the number 2 middleweight, WBO's middleweight contender. Is positioned to challenge Billy Joe Saunders for the title. They ordered the fight, blah, blah, blah. The WBO gave Frank Warren, Saunders promoter, and Ferris a 10-day window of Thursday, which within they could come to an agreement for a Saunders and Andrade fight. The WBO stated it would order a purse bid if Warren and Ferris couldn't reach a deal within 10 days. Whoa, why a little time window? Okay, all right, whatever. Hearn could bid on Saunders and Andrade if Warren and Ferris can't make a deal. If it isn't clear, however, if Andrade will pursue a fight with English Saunders or face another opponent in his first fight on his Matchroom the Zone deal. Let me see. Before buying out his contract with Pacquaio and Lou DeGuaria in New York, Andrade considered boxing Brazil's Yamaguchi Falcao as a part of a HBO triple header on July 21st in Las Vegas. Falcao actually was in line to fight Golovkin as a replacement opponent for Canelo on May 5th. Anyways, let me just say something about this Andrade thing. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to load this up because something's missing here. Let's see. What up, Mike? Mike from Pound for Pound Boxing Report is in here. Yeah. So, Texas, 1-224-4529 is a sister. Yeah, it's all good, man. I made the same mistake. It's all good. We all learn sometimes. Let me say something about the Andrade signing with Hearn. Let's put it this way. I don't fault him for going somewhere where somebody's going to give him a chance. I know some guys are laughing at him saying, yeah, see, this is how, as far as him signing with Hearn is a desperation, a move or something like that. Perhaps it could be because, obviously people who are rejoicing that Andrade signed with Hearn is the right thing to do. Yes, you could be right as well. But let's be fair here. Demetrius Andrade had really fucked up his career himself in some degree. And I hate to say that. And I like Andrade. The thing is that he's made very, very, very poor business decisions. He's pulled out of fights that he shouldn't have pulled out of. He's been on bad terms with certain networks like Showtime, whatnot. HBO one time he had a fallout with them. I think his career has been badly mismanaged, mainly by his father. You know, it all started with that pull out of the Charlo fight, which Jamal couldn't. Jamal never forgave Andrade for that, and that's why they've been beefing for a long time. Not only Jamal but his brother Jamel. They've all have their gripes with Andrade. Andrade, I like Andrade, but he just talks a lot and he doesn't really do much in the ring, man. It's like, dude, you do a lot of talking, but you're not doing much now. Yeah, you're a champion, but I mean, how long you held that title? I mean, seriously, bro. You act like you're top of the world when you won that title. I mean, it feels good in your mind that you're top of the world, but you act like the whole world owes you something. What happens to the HBO deal? I don't know. I think it's still intact. But the problem, I think what's going to happen now is that since he's signed with DAZN, I think Hearn is pretty much going to buy out his contract with HBO. And that's what Hearn is willing to do. He's willing to go, fish out other fighters, and he's willing to buy out their contracts to have them sign on Matchroom. So, I mean, he's got the capital to do it, so why not? Well, like I said, it could be a good move. I mean, he does need another chance. I don't fault Eddie Hearn for signing it. Which is Andrade is that don't fuck up this opportunity, bro. I mean, after this signing, if you fall out with Eddie Hearn, where else are you going to go? Where else is he going to go? I mean, it's just like he's really most part of his career. And, he's I mentioned his career, which is a good thing. But the fact is that even if you're not in the ring that much, your reflexes slow down. When your body grows, you lose your reflexes. So I don't know, man. It's just like, I hope he does. He only had one fight, last year against Escalante Fox? I think that was last year, right? Yeah, that was last year. We haven't seen him in 2018. So I could be wrong. Let me check. It's been that long since he's fought. So I gotta do something, man. I mean, seriously. He's got to commit to him to decide how he values that relationship with his new promoter. So, yeah, that was October last year. So it's like almost 1 year that he's been inactive. We're on 9 months now. So, yeah, like I said, he just needs to he needs to be active. He needs some fights, So this Billy Joe Saunders fight is a very, very, very good way to go. If these two parties can come to an agreement, not one, out of the mandated fight, like Andrade did bail out of the, what fight did he bail out of? I know he had a mandated fight. I believe that was that fight. He bailed out of it. So I don't know. Let me see. 122 says Andrade needs to jump the ball on these matchups. He isn't getting any younger. Oh, that's Texan. My bad. The Texan. My bad, brother. Yeah, I agree. He just needs to get on the ball. I agree. The Texan is so sad. He's gifted. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, he's still a very valuable opponent. But the thing is, what's hurting him is that he's not being active. He's not getting the fights that we want to see him in. So, yeah, that's I hope this is the good move for him. So let's pray for it. As far as Saunders and Andrade is concerned, interesting matchup. I really do hope that fight goes down. Now, if I were to pick a winner, I don't know. Both fighters hasn't been quite as active. I mean, Billy Joe's been a little bit more active than Andrade, but Billy Joe's been injured though. I mean, if he is really injured, but if anything though, I mean, I might have to go with Billy Joe if slightly. I would have to educate him if that fight gets made. If they if you break it down stylistically, they're both slick fighters, but I think Billy Joe's a little bit quicker than Andrade. So I'm gonna have to give the edge to Billy Joe. Andrade, Mike says Andrade lucked into his opportunity signing with Hearn and getting a title shot against Billy Joe. So let's hope he doesn't blow it. Yeah, I agree, Mike. He better not blow this opportunity. I mean, who else was going to give him a chance? He had a fallout with Heyman and his management group. He had a fallout with LaGuardia now. It's now D-Style's like Billy Ho. Oh, man, D-Style, you a funny dude, man. But we can't disrespect, Billy Ho. I mean, damn, you got me saying Billy Ho, bro. Billy Joe. Is this Saunders co-promoted by Frank? Well, Frank Warren is his promoter. That's his promoter. I don't think he's co-promoted by anybody else. Saunders has always been with Frank Warren. He's been with Frank Warren for many years. So, yeah. Let me get into this Sean Newton thing, okay? Because First of all, I gotta say something about to you, Sean. I don't know what is your problem, man. I don't know what it is. I mean, you're trying to steer the conversation to the core point of what I asked you about Charlo and Golovkin. You know, you and your your demented followers are running around saying that Charlo doesn't deserve a shot, and now you're trying to change the narrative by saying, "Oh, I didn't say never said that he didn't deserve a shot. I'm saying that fight doesn't need to happen now. This, that, and the third." No, you admit to his resume and you picked it apart, make it seem he didn't deserve his shot. My question to you was, okay, if you feel he doesn't deserve the shot with Golovkin, what did Golovkin's previous opponents do that was more deserving to get a shot at Gennady Golovkin at that moment? Like Dominic Wade. What did you do? You swerved. You couldn't answer the questions properly. You brought up other fighters that had nothing to do with the questions I asked you. You went on, you went on, and you went on. Now you made another video talking about, what are you debating about? You can't win a debate based on something. What are you debating about? It's fact that you have disdain for Golovkin. Really? Really? Show me where did I have disdain for Golovkin, because you don't know what the word hate means, all right? And I have to drop, drift off to another point, that the fact that you call the LDBC and somebody who's affiliated with them the House Negroes, bruh, if you said that to any one of those guys' face, you would get your ass kicked. I'm not going to lie to you, all right? But you're in a safe haven where you know nobody can come after you. Plain and simple. All right? So you're lucky to be over there in Taiwan. And that, besides, that's the only place you can be because you can't make it anywhere else. Plain and simple. And you call blood boxing broke. Bruh, you only make 30,000 as a teacher over there. But hey, or maybe a little bit more than that. But he might got some, you may have some benefits, so that way, you know, whatnot. So perhaps 30,000 or 40,000 or 35,000 a year in Taiwan as a teacher is probably not bad living. Who knows? But the fact is, I know blood makes more money than you. Okay. So, anyways, I'll send you a link, D-Style. Give me a second. So let me play this little video that you made about me. All right. Let me see if anybody can hear it. Can you guys hear it?
Because even you don't believe that.
Can you guys hear the hold on. Can you guys hear it?
Let me just check my volumes.
Drunk.
Looking good. So, it's funny because this weekend I was talking about some of the great fights that were happening. We had Prograis, who was, you know, showcase his ability. We had Pacquiao against Matthysee, a fight that at this point,
okay, you hear Sean?
Perfect time.
He won't come on, D-Style.
Other very good fights of
now I'm going to address his points.
Trying to make a name for themselves. But what is Dan focused on? Dan's focused on.
Stop right there. First of all, you're focused on the LDBC because every video you make is about the LDBC this and the LDBC that. First of all, bruh, you got LDBC syndrome. You just can't stop talking about them. I mean, seriously, you just can't help yourself. I mean, that is really, really disturbing, okay? Now, D-Style, back to you, bruh. I said I tried to get this guy on here many times, but he won't do it. He will only come on if he feels there's a group that's in the panel that's willing to protect him, like EJ, for example. I'm sorry to say that, EJ, but that's a fact, all right? So the thing is that, you know, he'll say anything he wants to say behind that camera in his lonely little room he got in Taiwan. But if he's here between me and I one-on-one, he won't say those things up on my platform. He won't do it, all right? You know, he wants to call out people for being this, that, and the third, but he won't have the guts to tell them in their face, plain and simple. So I'm going to go ahead and play this again.
By extension, Golovkin. You know, it's funny because he was trying to get debates on his show, comparing Golovkin to historical greats.
Right.
Right. Anything to try to put shade on Golovkin, he was trying to do. Not to be directly involved, but to get other people to debate on his channel.
But shade, how exactly am I putting shade? Sean, all I said was I'll moderate. I won't say anything. I'll let anyone present their arguments, and I'll let the other party present their arguments. So what's the problem? Now, if you really believe that Gennady Golovkin is a fighter as you say he is against those greats, come on and defend him. You have that right. I gave you the platform to do it, and you don't want to do it because you can't defend it. So what's the problem? You don't believe in yourself? You don't believe in your fighter? Yeah, I bet he's listening right now because he can't help himself, Texan. He talks all this crap about black channels, but he just can't help to stay off their channels. He loves to comment on there. He goes on their hangouts. He likes to comment. That's what he does. I'm telling you, he got LDBC syndrome. I'm telling you. That's for anybody who keeps mentioning the word LDBC. You guys got problems. I'm telling you that right now. Anyways, let's continue.
About the merits of these fighters. Nobody was interested. So none of this happened. So
yeah, nobody was interested. Yeah, first of all, you're lying, Sean. I had many people who were interested, all right? The people who were interested are the ones who wanted to defend Hopkins and Hagler and, of course, Lloyd Marshall, those greats. I had many people who wanted to sign up to defend them. But guess how many people wanted to defend Golovkin? 0. Why is that, Sean? Why nobody wanted to defend Golovkin on my platform? You know why? Because they don't believe in his record, even though they talk all that shit about the other greats that came before him. They can't debate him. They can't debate. Neither can you. So let's continue.
He do. And he makes a video basically calling me out.
Yeah, exactly.
Asking me some questions. And, you know, the funny thing is, I don't need to talk about Golovkin and the potential Charlo fight.
Yeah, you are, dummy. You're talking about it now. You made a concession of videos doing it. So what are you talking about? I don't need to talk about the Charlo and Golovkin fight. You are certainly talking about Jamal Charlo now.
The fact is, Golovkin now is set and scheduled for what is far bigger of a fight.
That's what I said. No problem with that. I never said he had to fight Charlo. Again, point to where I said that he had to fight Charlo next. Point to a comment where I said that, Sean. I've asked you many times. Point to a video where I said that. You can't. Let's continue.
He's right now scheduled to fight Canelo Alvarez in a super fight. And after that, he can go in whatever direction he wants.
Yeah, a super fight, that could be a letdown. And let's be honest, that super fight doesn't have the luster like it did when it was scheduled for May 5th. Now, will it garner some attraction? Absolutely. But it probably have lost a little bit of luster based off the drug testing controversy with Canelo. Plain and simple. I don't know. I know you don't want to hear that, Sean, but that's a fact. And I know you're upset that people who don't want to support that fight, you call them not real boxing fans. Look, bruh, you're not the decider on who people should like or who people should like or who they should not like. That's their prerogative. That's their business. You have that. They have the right to like whatever fight they want, whatever fighter they want, and you have that right. Plain and simple. He-Style says, well, that's what it is. I mean, either he's lacking sleep or he's, doing all kind of stuff. I don't know, man. I don't want to go too far, but it seems disturbing when he's sniffing a lot and he's twitching in his videos. But anyways, let's continue.
Not once did I say he doesn't need to fight Charlo.
Right? Yeah, you did.
But I put things into
You did. You did say that. You say he doesn't need to fight Charlo. That's not a big money fight. That's what you said. You said Charlo brings no money, just like what you said about DeGale doesn't have to fight Caleb Plant. That's what you said. Yeah, what's going on, Ross Clyde? Yeah, Pacquiao did look good last night, man. I'm happy that he got that knockout win. He did, and I'm very happy for him. Real talk. But I'm talking about Sean Newton here.
Rational perspective, and I guess that's what is just hard for you to understand. Any sort of rational perspective.
No, Sean, it's hard for you to understand rationale because when I say that Gennady Golovkin doesn't have any pound-for-pound wins or any wins that's considered Hall of Fame wins, that's me being rational. That's me being truthful. You can't handle that. That's a fact. So, and it's also a fact that he was given 2 titles rather than winning those 2 titles, which is the WBA and the WBC, which he currently holds. The only real title that he won was IBF, which he got stripped for because he refused to fight as mandatory. That's me being rational, Sean. That's not me being a hater. That's not me showing any type of disdain for the fighter. That's a fact. In fact, go back to my videos where I've defended Golovkin against guys who are overly criticized him. Go back to my videos where I praise Golovkin for some of the fights that he's had. They're there. Right there. Rascalot, trust me, I try to get this man to come on here one-on-one, but he won't do it. He will only do it unless there's somebody in the round table that's there to protect him. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Jackson says he praises subjectivity, but he gets defenses over certain fights nobody likes but him. That's what it is. Exactly. That's exactly what I told him. It's like you get so defensive over fighters that nobody likes but you. Look, bro, I understand you got to defend your fighters, but you can't force anybody to like a fighter that you like. That's what it is, man. Let me continue this.
Apparently, him and the channels that he rolls with just don't have any of this.
Sean, the channels that you roll with don't have any of the common sense either. You have no rationale either. So what are you talking about? Don't try to single me and everybody else out, bro. You in that boat. Okay, I'll be real. I'm probably one of the fewest guys here who are rational. Okay, I have favorite fighters, but if they're doing something wrong, I will criticize them. Ask the people in my chat right now. They'll tell you what I'm about. What's going on, Chris? Exactly. They'll tell me exactly what I'm about. I've criticized fighters that I like. I praise fighters that I don't like. All right, that's me being objective and fair. Plain and simple. Let's continue.
The fact is, after the Canelo fight, there are 3 fights that potentially are far bigger than the Charlo fight. That's the reality, right? So if he wants to go after any of those 3 fights, they make far more sense than going after Charlo, a guy who didn't even headline his last fucking fight.
Well, you know, it's funny, though. He didn't headline. I mean, Ishida, did he headline a fight before he got a shot at Golovkin? Did Curtis Stevens headline maybe he did headline a fight, but it was like a damn ballroom fight, whatever that was. Did Matthew Macklin headline a fight before he got his shot? Did Marco Antonio Rubio headline a fight? Maybe a closed-door fight? I don't know. But the fact is that it goes back to my question is, okay, now because Jamal Charlo didn't headline a fight, he's not worthy of a shot at Gennady Golovkin. Okay, that's how it is. That's another stupid comment that you made right there. Just like what you said that Ishida knocking out James Kirkland, although he had 2 consecutive losses, he's worthy of a shot at Gennady Golovkin because he knocked out James Kirkland more than Jamal Charlo. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, Rock, I'm going to get to that right now because he didn't explain that yet. What 3 fights are bigger than Charlo? I think he's referring to Canelo. He's referring to Moriata. And the other one, Billy Joe Saunders. Those are the 3 that he's referring to, which I do have to agree. I mean, because Moriata is a big name in Japan. So, yes, I understand that. Now, as far as Billy Joe Saunders, yes, because he has a title. Canelo obviously is the bigger draw. So he does have a bit of a point there. I will have to say that. Okay. But again, dangerous fighters like Charlo's cannot be neglected because he fought in a mandatory position. And he's earned his right. My problem is that why people like Sean Newton is trying to marginalize the man when he's earned his right to get his shot, just like fucking Dominic Wade did, which reality he never fought in the final eliminator to get his shot, like a so-called Marco Antonio Rubio did, which he never answered that question when I asked him. He got his shot. So, I mean seriously, Kell Brook. Okay, shall I continue? Matthew Macklin, William Monroe Jr. Come on. All right, D-Style, hold on, brother. Hold on. I got to get to this.
Right. That's the reality. If it's sanctioned, he has to fight Charlo, and we can have a conversation about that then. But at this point, he's not sanctioned to fight him. He's not mandated.
Of course not. Of course not, Sean. Of course he's not mandated to fight him. My problem is that Charlo has earned his right to become a mandatory challenger. When he gets his shot, when that fight gets mandated, fine, go for it. But don't marginalize that man as if he didn't earn his right. He did. He's earned his right. Plain and simple. You can go ahead and marginalize that man all you want to, but you can't take away what he did as far as the other fighters who got their shot at Golovkin didn't do, which you legitimized. Plain and simple. That's all I said. I never said that Charlo has to fight, Golovkin has to fight him next. I never said that. I said, well, you know what? Again, I'll repeat myself. When Canelo and Triple G were having their disputes in the negotiation process, me, including your demented supporters, said we all agreed that, you know what? Triple G should not be messing around with Canelo. He needs to go get after Billy Joe Saunders, and that way he becomes undisputed champion. Then he can come back to Canelo and to enter negotiations with more leverage. Then he can fight on other opponents like Derevchenko and like Charlo. But here you are going into the fray saying, no, he don't have to do that. He don't have to do that, this, that, the third. And guess what happened? He got his fucking title stripped because he refused to fight as mandatory. Plain and simple. All right. So, okay, let's continue.
One of 2 unification
First of all, if you're talking about the lineal title is not considered an alphabet championship, okay? Unless you're talking about the IBF, which Derevchenko and Jacobs are fighting for. Okay, I see your point, but let's continue.
It's either Andrade, Billy Joe Saunders winner, if that, or against Derevchenko, Jacobs winner.
Well, it's funny now you said that he should fight Derevchenko, really? Wow, okay. Even though Derevchenko was a mandatory, and you said that he shouldn't be fighting Derevchenko because he brings no money, is not a valuable option. Now you're changing your tune on that. Why is that, Sean?
Right. There are two opportunities for unification fights, and we know as boxing fans that unification fights are far bigger and far more important than mandatory fights.
You know, it's funny he says that because remember when you guys in the chat, remember when Julius Ndongo and Terrence Crawford, when Julius Ndongo beat Ricky Burns for the other title, and Ndongo became a unified champion. Everybody was talking about Ndongo fighting Crawford. That was a fight we wanted to see because that was a unification bout, and what Julius Ndongo was able to do in back-to-back fights going on the road. That's something that's rarely seen in boxing, and we wanted to see that fight until the IBF was trying to intervene, get in the way, and say, "Nope, you got to fight Sergey Lipinets next." And what does this clown do? He puts out a video talking about, "Well, I understand. I want to see that fight too, but the mandatory is due. Ndongo has to fight Lipinets." That's what he did. He put out a video saying defending the IBF trying to intervene on that undisputed championship fight. And now all of a sudden he's changing his tune, talking about, now unifications are more important than mandatories. Now he's doing it only when it suits his fucking fighter. That's it. Of course, Julius Ndongo was not the fighter that he supported. Okay. Plain and simple. So, yeah, come on, Sean. Don't be a hypocrite, man.
Mandatory fights aren't even fucking interesting. This particular one, as I said in my video, it's interesting. Charlo Golovkin is unlike many other ones. It is
What's up, Kiwi?
Between two top guys. The only reason that Charlo could be mandated is because currently he doesn't hold any titles. Right? So,
well, neither did Macklin, neither did Monroe, neither did Brook. Even though that was a bit of a money grab, neither did Yoshida, neither did Rosado, and neither did who was the other one? Adama, or well, it's not Adama, yeah, or Uma. Okay, so or neither did Stevens, I should say, or Rubio. They didn't hold any titles with the exception of Lemieux. So let me ask you this, Sean, again. Those fighters never held titles. Why were they more important fights than fucking Jamal Charlo? This is the real question here. Why they were more deserving of a shot than fucking Jamal Charlo? Let's see if he gets to be a proper answer.
As far as any of that goes, I mean, this is just rational thinking.
No, you're not.
You're trying to create this.
It's not rational thinking, Sean. You're trying to omit information. You're trying to distort. You're trying to marginalize. You're trying to marginalize Charlo again. That's what you're doing in this video. I'll get you in a second, D-Style.
Division, very similar to what many other channels are doing around Golovkin. But the point is, Golovkin is right now in a bigger fight than anybody else currently in boxing.
Do you guys agree with that? You think that Golovkin is in a bigger fight than anybody else in boxing? Do you guys agree with that? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know. Possibly true because Canelo is one of the biggest draws in boxing. No, Kiwi, because he took a snipe at me again in this video. That's why I'm responding to him. But I'm done. I'll be done in a second. Okay, Mr. Doc. Yeah, is Triple G in the biggest fight than anybody else in boxing? That's what Sean Newton said. Do you guys agree with that? Well, definitely at 160. That's a yeah, Roxla. I agree. Definitely at 160. So it's not. Okay. So Roxla said no, that's not true. So is Triple G in the biggest fight in boxing right now when he's going up against Canelo Alvarez? Roxla says no. Texas says no. Mr. Doc says no. Oh, see? Well, Sean, you got people who disagree with you right there. Triple G is not in the biggest fight in boxing right now. Yes, he's in the biggest fight at 160. Okay, but the fact Mr. Rock says no, So you got some people who disagree with you there. E-Style disagree with you. Oh man. The biggest fight would be AJ versus Wilder. You know what? You're probably right, Ross Clot. That fight would probably get more buzz than Canelo and Triple G. I know some people are going to say, well, Triple G and Canelo are pound for pound, so why is that fight even more important than that? Well, first things first, people who will say that should understand that heavyweights normally don't get ranked on the pound for pound list. There are some exceptions, yes. But when it comes to two big punchers who are in their prime, they're undefeated, yes, that right there seems to matter. They both are very popular. Well, you know, AJ is more popular than Wilder. Wilder's popularity is starting to grow a bit. But the fact is that Wilder is exciting. He's a dangerous puncher, just like Joshua. So they're undefeated in their prime. Why not see it? They both, you know what, Roscoe, good point. Triple G just can't promote himself. I guess, I don't know. It's just the language barrier. It's not his fault. But AJ and Wilder can because they know they got charisma. You got to give them both credit for that. They got charisma. They know how to talk. They know how to relate to people. So that's a fact. All right. Hey, Marlon, what's going on, man? Triple G against Charlo will be bigger fight than Canelo. We already seen that Canelo fight. Sean, Mala disagree with you. He disagrees with you. The Texas says the world doesn't revolve around Triple G and Canelo, Sean. I mean, it's a point that exactly. Boxing is bigger than those two men. That's exactly the point I was trying to make. Boxing is bigger than those both men, okay? Plain and simple. He might be in the biggest fight that day. Well, that's a possibility, Rock. You on that $50 million thing again, D-Style. Michael from Pound for Pound says the biggest fight at 160. Yes. Biggest fight in boxing. The biggest fight happening right now, however, is Joshua Wilder finally gets made. It exceeds Triple G Canelo 2 by miles. Yeah, I agree. All right, man, I'll give you the link. Let me finish what this dude said about me. Give me a second.
Right. And a lot of fighters, many of these channels support wholeheartedly. Don't have reservations. It's good stuff. I mean, I've often said that Golovkin's resume needed work, and obviously going forward, it was going to improve. And we've seen that happen.
Yeah, it's improved, but it hasn't improved to where you say it's equally or better than Bernard Hopkins or Marvin Hagler's resume. You hear that, Mr. Doc? He won't get on here and debate me on that. Because I asked him, okay, if you really believe that, let's debate about it. He won't do it unless he has somebody here to protect him. But the fact is that Triple G's resume has improved, yes, but it hasn't gotten to the point where you could say, okay, it matches up with Hopkins or Hagler. The reason why I say that is because they actually won titles in the ring in a fight. They've actually have Hall of Fame wins. They've actually beaten pound for pound fighters. Triple G doesn't have neither one of those. Yes, he's won one title, but he was given 2 other titles, which he currently holds right now. Major differences. Let's continue.
It's continuously improved.
It's easily improved. Hold up. Sean, hold up. He barely got through Danny Jacobs, which is probably his biggest fight at that time. Most people felt he lost that fight, okay? He didn't beat Canelo Alvarez, a draw, and you keep saying that most people thought he won. Only you and those diehard Golovkin fans believe that he won that fight by, and people felt he was robbed, okay? People who are rational, quote unquote, will tell you that it was a close fight. It could have gone either way. Golovkin probably could have won it, but he only won it by a very, very small margin. Canelo could have won it, but he only won it by a small margin. Me, I called it a draw. Plain and simple. That's rationale, Sean. You saying that most people believe that he won that fight or it was a robbery, that's not being rational. Okay. Now, let me see. Mr. Doc says Golovkin will have to fight as long as B-Hop to hope to catch up to Hagler. Well, his fighting style, I don't think he's going to last long because the swarming style has really been taking a toll on him. So I'm not sure if he's going to catch up. Even if he beats Canelo, that win right there still is going to fall short with the likes of Hopkins beating Trinidad, Hopkins beating De La Hoya, and then you have Hagler beating Hearns and Durant. I mean, come on. Or even Carlos Monzon beating Napolis, beating Emil Griffith. Come on. I mean, seriously. Harry Greb beat Mickey Walker. Shall I continue? I mean, come on. LaMotta beating Robinson. I mean, let's continue, Sean. Let's continue.
Direction. If he's able go in there and significantly improve his performance against Canelo and get a victory, that's a great win.
Great win, but still come up short against Hagler and Hopkins' wins. Because let's be honest here, who in their mind would rate Canelo Alvarez over Tommy Hearns? Anybody? Let me ask you guys in the comment section. Would you rate Canelo Alvarez over Tommy Hearns? Let's be honest. Would you? If you do, why? I'd like to know why. Okay. If he does beat Canelo Alvarez, would you rate Canelo Alvarez over Roberto Duran? Okay. What about Oscar De La Hoya? What about Felix Trinidad? Mike says nope. Okay. Texas says nope. 1224520 says nope. Chris says hell no. Or nope. Nope. Yeah, so Sean, again, yes, that would be a good win if he does beat Canelo Alvarez, but that win will not be as great as a win over what Hagler has over Hearns or Duran or Hopkins has over Trinidad De La Hoya. Plain and simple. Let's be honest. Canelo's wins are most frickle arguments. Well, yeah, you know, and that's a good point, D-Style, because Canelo's wins have been, most of his biggest wins have been subject to controversy. Not saying that he didn't compete in those fights. He did. But if you look at the scorings have been very appalling when he's had close fights. I mean, judges been scoring fights for him in miles. It's like, what the fuck? Look at the Arizona Lara fight. Look at the Austin Trout fight. I mean, even the Mayweather fight, the fight that he lost, CJ Ross scored that fight a fucking draw. Are you kidding me? Canelo didn't win no more than maybe 2 rounds, maybe 3 in that fight against Mayweather. Let's be honest. Arizona Lara, a controversial score fight. One judge scored at 118 and 110 for fucking Canelo. Are you kidding me? Miguel Cotto, all 3 judges only gave Miguel Cotto at least 1 round in that fight. I mean, let's be real. Yeah, Texas, I agree. Canelo Alvarez will always have an asterisk next to his biggest wins. That's what it is. Now, again, that doesn't say he wasn't competitive in that fight. Yeah, you could argue that he won those fights, but in very close margins. You cannot say that he won those fights by miles with the way the judges have scored it for him. This is why you have to tell yourself, like, what the fuck? It was like, you really got to knock this guy out to even fucking have a chance of winning. Even if you beat him up through 12 rounds, he's going to find a way to get the judges in his favor. Play it simple. Play it simple. So let's continue.
To do whatever he wants. That's the reality. I mean, I can understand that you and many of these other channels really are connected to Charlo, and that's cool.
Yeah,
I understand. You look into me.
No. You don't understand. You don't understand, Sean. Here's the thing. We understand you're connected to Gennady Golovkin. That's fine. You have every right to support him. But the problem is that you are out in droves criticizing people who has critique about him. You've gone after channels, you stalk channels like EK Fight News that I keep mentioning, who said nothing to you. Criticized Gennady Golovkin to the way he feels that he had to critique him. But what did you do? You made a video calling him a moron, somebody who doesn't know nothing. Just like you did me when we had this beef years ago. We said nothing to you. We mind our own business. We understand you have your opinion, but you made videos slandering us. That's your problem, man. You cannot convince the whole world that Gennady Golovkin is great. You cannot do that, bruh. Many people are not going to like the guy. But let's continue.
You see Charlo. That's fine. But the point is, Charlo is a guy who never tried to unify at 154. He never tried to fight the best fighters at 154.
Really? Is that so? Is that so? I mean, Golovkin just ducked Derevchenko. What do you call that? What do you call that? So if you're going to say Charlo hasn't tried to unify at 154, fair enough. He didn't. Let's just say Golovkin didn't even try to fight his fucking mandatory. He didn't fight all comers like he said he would. He didn't fight Billy Joe Saunders. He rejected that fight. A unification bout. Remember that? He rejected that fight so he could pursue the Canelo fight for money. Hey, it's his prerogative. He could do that. So let's not pretend that Jamal Charlo was not the only guy who did not pursue the unification fight. Golovkin didn't do the same thing either. However, he finally came to his senses to go ahead and allow, use Billy Joe Saunders as a contingency just in case the Canelo fight fell through. I'll give him credit for that. But let's not pretend again that that Jamal Charlo was the only guy that did not pursue any unification bouts. Let's continue.
Now you guys somehow twist that as if Charlo's really hungry and really eager for this fight, even though when discussing this fight directly with Charlo, he basically gave it a pass, said he understood Golovkin was the top of the middleweights right now, and had unfinished business with Canelo. That's what he said. So
okay, that doesn't mean he's not hungry for the fight, Sean. You missed his point. What he's saying is that Golovkin does have business to take care of, but that doesn't mean I'm not hungry for the fight. That means is that I will let him go ahead and finish what he has to do with Canelo. Then I'm going to get my shot next. That's what he applied. That doesn't mean he doesn't feel he's ready for the fight. He wants that fight. He's been calling out Golovkin for a long time now. What up, Alexander Mayweather?
How his fanboys act as if Golovkin is ducking him to take what is essentially.
Sean, I never said Golovkin is ducking Charlo. I never said that. However, I will say this though. Abel Sanchez has came out and he did an interview with Michelle Joy Phelps of Beyond the Gloves. It's there. Take a look at it. Abel Sanchez was asked this question about mandatories. He said here, quote, "We're not going to allow the sanctioned bodies to dictate what we need to do and who we need to fight. If we have to give up the belts, we will do so." That's what he said. Okay? So again, Sean, why are you distorting facts here? Let's continue.
Far bigger fight. And if he ends up going to fight one of these unification fights next, they're also far bigger fights. If he goes to Japan and fight Murata, it's a far bigger fight. Those fights just make sense. And in no way is that disrespectful to Charlo or anything else. I made a video.
Okay, Sean, here's the thing you don't understand. When you talk about far bigger fights, you mean by money. I understand fighters are in this business to get paid, but the fact is that fighters don't get remembered by how much money they made in their careers. It's about who they fought, how they fought them, and when they fought them. Plain and simple, Sean. Okay? Not saying Mariota is not is not a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. But honestly, I know people in Japan would love to see that fight, but what about everybody else around the world? Would they want to see a Mariota versus Golovkin fight? Let's be honest. Would you rather see Charlo versus Golovkin, or would you rather see Mariota versus Golovkin versus all right, peace, brother Kiwi. I can't really see how trying to explain Sean's point of view would help, but vice versa. But I really wouldn't be bothered. But I'm peace. Yeah, man, I understand. But if he keeps attacking me, I got no choice but to defend myself. But the fact is that would you rather see Charlo versus Golovkin or Golovkin versus Mariota? Not saying Golovkin doesn't have to pursue that fight. What I'm saying is that people remember you by the fighters that you fought, how dangerous they were, and how'd you beat them and when you beat them. Plain and simple. In my opinion, Mariota is not a better fighter than Jamal Charlo. I'm sorry, he's not. He may be a hotshot in Japan, but other than that, as far as world level, yes, he beat Hassan Nadam. Great, but I don't know, man. I got to see more from Mariota.
It's unfortunate the IBF stripped Golovkin because what that did was take away Charlo's best opportunity to really make a name for himself.
No, Sean. You realize that Golovkin was the reason he has himself to blame for why the IBF stripped him. See, you're missing the point. Okay, the fact is that they warned him and told him after the Canelo rematch fell through back in May is that okay, your mandatory is due. You got to fight him. All right, the IBF cannot dictate the situation. Alexander Mayweather said, "Who doesn't beat Hassan Nadal?" Yeah, even fucking David Lemieux crushed him. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. Hassan Nadal is not a bad fighter, but that's up for interpretation. But the fact is that again, Sean. The fact is that wait, hold up. What did you say again? I've lost my train of thought.
Which was Eddie Jacobs.
Oh yeah, okay. Golovkin has himself to blame for why the IBF stripped him. All right, they warned him and told him that okay, the Canelo fight rematch is off. You got to fight your mandatory now. They told him is that you better not fight anybody else, otherwise we're not going to sanction that fight. And that was Vanes Martirosyan. They told him that if you take that fight, we're not going to sanction it, and you're going to risk of being stripped. Okay, so the IBF was trying to give him a leeway and say, okay, we'll allow you to fight Vanes Martirosyan, but you have to commit to us that you have to give Sergey Derevyanchenko a shot next, and you have to fight him in 3 months, which is from May to August. That's what they told him. Give us a written commitment to do it, and he didn't do that, so he got stripped. So he has himself to blame that situation. That's not the IBF's fault. It's not, well, if you want to say unfortunate, yeah, it's unfortunate that he allowed that situation to happen. That's his fault, not the IBF's fault. They're very strict with their policies. You know how that goes.
Was something both of them were going back and forth with, which would have been a fantastic fight and a great way for him to basically make a statement in the division. You notice everything I say is just rational.
Liar.
There's no fanboyism. There's no shitting on Charlo and none of this kind of stuff.
Sean, you're lying. You shitting on him because you went through his resume. Okay, you shitting on him, talking about it was inferior. Yes, it's thin, but again, to my point, Sean, which you failed to answer your questions in certain ways. What has these previous fighters that they've done, that Golovkin beat, had done that was more deserving than Jamal Charlo, the guys that you've legitimized like Dominic Wade? Okay.
Resume or any of this kind of thing. You know, I respect him as a fighter. I understand that potentially he could be the best fighter at middleweight. But in saying that, Golovkin is the one in the driver's seat right now. He's the one fighting a huge, significant fight on Charlo. He's the one that potentially could follow this great, significant legacy fight with the unification fight again.
Okay, question. Is Gladys Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez a legacy fight, guys? D-Style, the Texan. I'll get you on in a second right now, D-Style. Is that a legacy fight? I mean, it could be one of the best fights we've seen, but I don't know if Sean means by legacy. I think he means that Canelo Alvarez could get to the Hall of Fame, or maybe Gennady Golovkin can too. Are they future Hall of Famers? I don't know. But the fact is that legacy fight, perhaps it could go down as one of the best fights in history. But that right now, that's on paper. But we don't know. It could possibly be a letdown. Let's not forget that, and that's why I explained to you. Sean Ramshore, what's going on, man? It's been a long time. He says that who else is left to beat at the middleweight division? Well, after Canelo and Golovkin, there's Andrade, there's Saunders, there's Jacobs, there's Servchenko. Well, Jacobs has already got beaten, but you got Derevchenko, you got Jamal Charlo. So those fights are there, man. Those fights are there. Rock 89 says the first fight wasn't great. Well, Rock, let's just say this. That was a very good fight. That fight was one of the best fights in 2017, yes. Now, as far as that being the fighter of the year, nah, I don't think it was the best fight of the year. Obviously, Joshua and Klitschko was the fight of the year, in my opinion. That was a damn good fight. That was far better than, I'll say far better. That was much better than Canelo versus Triple G1 back in 2017. Let's see.
One of two sanctioning body champions, right? Which then, of course, leaves Charlo on the outside looking in again. Right? It's just the reality of the situation. So it is what it is. I don't understand the need to push this story as if you actually have a debate and you actually have something worth discussing.
We're not. We're discussing it now, Sean. We're discussing it right now. So why don't you come on here and talk to me? All right, I'll be professional. I'm not gonna go off on you. All right, but I would like to have a handful of questions for you, and I hope you will be prepared to answer them. So let's go ahead.
Right. You know, the whole point of this video was just you, of course, wanting to make more negative stuff towards Golovkin.
All right, what negative stuff that I've said about Golovkin, Sean? Okay, look, the man has no pound-for-pound wins. He has no Hall of Fame wins on his record. He's given 2 titles. He got stripped. He won 1 title in the ring, got stripped from it. And how's that negative? That's all fact. But I did say I would have been negative. I didn't give him credit for any of the wins that he has at middleweight. I have given him credit for that, and I have given him credit for the fact that he's dominated that middleweight division, even though it's inferior. But I have. Sean, stop it. Okay, go back to my old videos. They're still there. I have given him praise for what he's did at middleweight. But the question is now is that how do you rank him against the all-time greats, which many people feel that he's at the end of his career at this point? I think he does fall short because of what they've done. But it's simple. I mean, like again, all this is subjective. But the fact is that if you look at the wins and the titles that they won, you know, I just don't think Golovkin comes close. He doesn't. He's way in the bottom. I'm just being honest. I mean, can you rank him above Harry Grimp? No. Can you rank him above Tiger Flowers? No. Can you rank him above, let's say the likes of Sugar Ray Robinson? Nope. Carlos Monzo? No. I mean, many great middleweights are far above him. I'm sorry. Tony Zell? No.
That's why you were trying to make debates.
Jake LaMotta? Nope. Oh, yeah. Jake LaMotta? Nope. Lloyd Marshall? Nope. Ezra Charles? Nope. Even though Ezra Charles and Lloyd Marshall never won a title at middleweight, but they sure as damn had better wins at middleweight than Golovkin. Charlie Burley? Nope. Well, let's continue.
Fighter. Not have anyone come on your channel and debate whoever the fuck they wanted.
Why not?
Specifically, debates regarding Golovkin. But you historically have shown disdain and negativity towards Golovkin. And that's
okay, disdain. Do you know what the word disdain is, Sean? Let me explain it to you, because you have no idea what it is since you're a high school teacher, or I don't know what type of teacher you are, but you are a teacher, which is hard to believe. But the fact is that disdain means that I have contempt. Show me where I have contempt for Gennady Golovkin. Point to a situation where I show contempt. Now, if you're talking about me criticizing him, no. Contempt is where I really don't like the guy no matter what he does. If you're looking back at my previous videos again, I gave him credit for what he's done. Okay? But that doesn't mean that he's above criticism, just like any fighter that I like. Plain and simple. That's something that you have a difficulty understanding. You lack that understanding.
cool. Whatever. You know. But trying to draw me into this,
Why not? Why are you afraid of? What are you afraid of, Sean? Come on over.
Seems redundant.
Redundant.
And there's no point to it. Because you're not winning the debate. Because what is the debate?
Yeah, debate is prove to me why those guys, previous opponents, or more deserved, made more sense to fight Jamal Charlo that I named. That's the debate. And tell me why in the world. I mean, come on, Sean. This is a boxing debate. Other than you calling the LDBC house Negroes, that's another discussion. But the fact is that tell me why those guys, previous Golovkin opponents, made more sense to fight Jamal Charlo. Tell me why. Okay, that's all I want to ask. Come on here and we'll discuss it. And let's debate Golovkin's resume against Hagler and Hopkins. Let's do it live.
It is what? That Golovkin shouldn't be fighting Canelo right now?
I didn't say that.
Or he should
I didn't say that, Sean.
fight Charlo next? Is that your debate? Is that your point? Because even you don't believe that. Right? Nobody believes that. Even fucking Charlo fanboys understand the true essence to the game. They're the
True essence to the game. Really, really, really. Explain to us what's the true essence to the game, expert. Tell us what that is.
same guys who talk about lineal being more important than NEGROES. So
You talking about low place. Okay.
you can't contradict yourself now.
Contradict what? How did I contradict myself, Sean? I mean, explain. Where did I contradict myself in the video? Where? Again, point to video where I said that Charlo was more important fight than Canelo Alvarez. Point to where I said that.
Does this mean that Charlo potentially is going to be the man of the division? Is it, or is, we will see.
Yeah, he does got a lot of bags under his
He's a
eyes.
great fighter. Right? You don't see me crapping on Charlo, but
That's what you're doing now.
This is the scenario. Charlo's had two unexciting marginal opponent fights in middleweight.
Unexciting fights. Sean, he knocked those guys out. What the fuck are you talking about? He knocked those guys out. All right. I mean, seriously. Unexciting fights. He knocked those guys out cold. He got rid of Jorge Sebastian Island in 3 rounds. He got rid of Hugo Centineo Jr. in 2 rounds. What the fuck are you talking about? All right, when has Golovkin knocked out anybody in spectacular fashion? The last thing I know Golovkin's done is that Dominic Wade, that's about it. Or Vias Monterosian, great. A guy who was coming off a 2-year layoff, a loss, and haven't fought at world level at 160, never was a champion. Yeah, okay. Was that an eventful fight, Sean? Was that an eventful fight? Really? Alexander Mayweather says that if Charlo knocking out guys was born, then what was Triple G versus Monez? Exactly. Inoshita? Yep, exactly. Who's he talking about? I'm contradicting myself. That was a clear contradiction right there. Matthew Macklin? Yeah, was the Ishida fight that exciting? I mean, was the Adama fight exciting? Come on. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Triple G doesn't really knock guys out cold. He just he what he does, he stops guys with accumulation of punishment. I mean, like William Monroe, he didn't really knock him out cold. He punished him. That's what he does. That's how he gets guys out. He punishes them. Now Charlo, he's knocked out guys cold. J. Rock Williams, Hugo Cicilline Jr. I know Jorge Sebastian Island came in late in the ring with an injury, but he was taking a lot of shots in that fight, even though it lasted only 3 rounds. So powerful shots. Yeah, I mean, should he move up? I don't know, Sean. I mean, Sean Ramson. I don't know. Maybe he should.
Everybody else has a big fight. He doesn't. He's sitting around waiting for a big opportunity. The point is, there's other opportunities that are bigger. That's just the facts. Those are facts.
Okay.
You can't debate facts.
Well, I did, Sean. I did. Okay, the fact is that if Golovkin has bigger opportunities, so be it. Okay, I never said, again, you keep putting words in my mouth. I never said that Gennady Golovkin had to fight Jamal Charlo right away. All I said was that Jamal Charlo does not need to be rationalized. Okay, or marginalized, I should say. He does not need to be marginalized. He deserves his shot. Just like any other mandatory that's gotten that position to when to get their shot at Golovkin, just like Dominic Wade did. That's all I said. You have to listen.
Because that's fact. No matter how much you want to twist it, put negativity on it, try to fucking put fake fucking things to me.
Well, Sean, you're talking about what he was waiting for. I mean, first of all, as Alexander Mayweather was pointing in the comment section, if Charlo was waiting around for opportunities, then what was Triple G doing when he was chasing Canelo? Exactly. He was waiting for his opportunities. What did he do? He did take one-off fights like he said he would. He ducked those fights like at Ward, Ramirez, Lara. Okay? He waited around till he found somebody he could fight. He waited around for Mayweather. He waited around for Pacquiao. Those fights didn't happen. He waited for Martinez. Those fights didn't happen. Okay? He waited for Cotto. That fight didn't happen. So if what Charlo was doing is waiting for opportunities, wasn't Triple G doing the same thing? Wait for opportunities to get his big fight against a small man? Or a guy who's probably over the hill or at the end of it, like Carl Froch, for example, or Miguel Kessler. So don't single out Jamal Charlo for doing the same thing. Golovkin was doing the same thing years ago, which you appraised, which you gave him a pass for doing. Let's continue.
He said these things when I never did, which you consistently do. It doesn't change the fact that these are facts.
Yeah, I said it's facts too.
You can't show
Sean, no, your problem is that you omit information. You know what omit information is? You provide information, but you don't provide the entire facts to it. You always do that. Why? Because you know there's something in that information that will be perceived as a little contradictory to how you try to defend your point against Gennady Golovkin or for Gennady Golovkin. That's what you do. Okay? So you have to stop that. And I hope you don't teach your students about omitting information.
Not true, because they are true.
Now you're lying.
Right. So you spending an hour, 2 hours basically making a response video to me.
Well, Sean, you spend an hour and 30 minutes making a video about me right now. And I already explained why I made that video as long as I did, like I'm doing this hangout, because I'm addressing every single one of your points.
Your response video to you, calling me out because you were bored and you just wanted some opportunity to shit on Golovkin some more.
Well, Sean, okay, you say I'm bored, but the fact is that what you do all day? You sit in front of your computer, you show your ridiculous face, you criticize the LDBC this, LDBC that, Golovkin hater, this, that, the third, Flomo, put up racist thumbnails, calling them the LDBC house Negroes. Again, Sean, you're in front of a computer in a territory where nobody can touch you. And for you the audacity to call them house Negroes, even though you can disagree with them, you wouldn't say that in their face, and you get your ass kicked. Let's be real. You get your ass fucked up if you did that in their face, and you know that. Okay? So, if you really believe they're house Negroes, why don't you go on their channel and you debate one of them and call them a house Negro on a fucking platform? You see what happens to you on that live debate, on a live hangout, I should say. Why don't you do that?
What's the point? There are big fights here sitting around doing this.
Yep.
Talking about this.
Exactly.
Me to respond to something that is just
going so now he criticizing me because I'm not talking about boxing. Really? Really, Sean. Okay. Let me ask you something. Why is it that every video that you do, you have to make your video about someone else's opinion? Explain that. Explain that. 90% of your videos is about someone's opinion that you don't agree with. Every single time, including the LDBC. Why? Why? So here again, you're being a contradictory, you're contradicting yourself, son. Okay, you can't call out anybody for, talking about why don't you talk about boxing, this, that, and the dirt. You have no right to tell anybody what they should talk about, what they cannot talk about. You need to follow your own advice. Plain and simple. In fact, I could call you out and say, why did you cover the women's sport of boxing? Why don't you cover Clarissa Shields? Why don't you cover Katie Taylor? All right. Hey, I don't do that because that's your prerogative. You could cover whatever you want to cover. You could talk about whatever you want to talk about. But the one thing I will call you out on is you're making derogatory racial motivated videos.
Around like a fucking merry-go-round.
Yeah, right? Your mama.
I've never said that Golovkin was the best fighter of all time. No, I've never said that.
Sean, again, I never said you said that Golovkin was the best fighter of all time. You did say that he was the best fighter in the world. You did say that, okay? You lied about it, and I posted a comment where you did say that. Why are you trying to distort that? I never said you said he was the best fighter of all time. Do you understand English, Sean?
I never said he was the best middleweight of all time. No.
I didn't say you said that, bro. I mean, where are you getting this from? You didn't get that from me.
So, I don't feel I'm defending Golovkin, except when people say he shouldn't be fighting Kimo. Right? Anyone who says that is just proving their fucking biased, negative approach, because they're obviously just fucking moronic.
Yep, your mama.
And as far as him, what do you mean get away with it? Literally, you were begging for it. Right? You're begging for it. To me, if your responsibility was to you, calling me out because you were bored and you just wanted some opportunity.
I played that already.
To me, it doesn't happen next door in the next meantime. I don't care. There's lots of other fights that I will enjoy. So I don't need to worry about this one particular fight and that one particular fight to help perpetuate my American fucking fighter who I'm hoping can become the man so that I can sit.
What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is wrong with you? Black American fighter? What the fuck are you talking about, bitch? What the fuck do you mean? See, he's going on his racial rant again.
Right, because I'm not here trying to puff up on ego.
Really?
I'm here talking about boxing.
Liar. Sean, if you were talking about boxing, then why do you always have to put in racial elements when it comes to boxing? All right, D-Style. All right, let me get you a link, bro. Hold on. Hold on, I got you. Ooh, got you there. All right, brother, I got you. I remember that comment, D-Style. I got you on, brother. I got you on. Hold on. All right, sent the link. I'll drop it up real quickly. Too much attention. You made an hour and 30-minute video about me. What are you talking about? Not giving me too much attention. Yeah, I'm not racist because my buddies I play with basketball are black and Jamaican. What the fuck?
He made a video 2 hours long.
Yep, you made 1 hour 30 minutes about me. Okay, Sean, you make an hour 30 minutes the most, or maybe 100 hour 40-minute videos about the LDBC. What are you talking about? I have a black dog, but I'm not racist.
You were like me, but I have no interest in listening to a 2-hour fucking video.
Well, you made an hour 30-minute video about me, so what are you talking about? Exactly. He made hour videos long about me, but yeah, that's fine. I do it too because of the fact I like to address every single point that he makes. I play the entire video. That's what I do. Okay? Maybe I should chop it down a bit, but sometimes I really want to address every single point that they make, which is to me is so foolishly is stupid. So he said it's funny. He's contradicted himself because he said he's not going to give me too much of my time. He's making, and I have no interest listening to a 2-hour video about what he said about me, but yeah, he made an hour 30-minute video response about me right here. Wow, this dude is something else.
Sunday afternoon after just watching the fights, but let's give him 5-10 minutes and
5-10 minutes. You made an hour 30-minute video.
see if he actually brings up anything interesting. Which I don't think he will, but
Bruh, if you watch my hangout, I'm doing it.
you didn't think I was gonna let you get away with that, did you? No, get away with it. You were paying for it. Right. What do you mean, get away with it? Literally, you were paying for it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what you're getting away with, Sean. I answer my questions and you calling the LDBC house Negroes. Yeah, you're not getting away with that because I'm going to hammer you on that one until you come on here and tell me, explain yourself. Why do you think they're house Negroes? And do you know what the term house Negroes mean? Plain and simple. Yeah, you're not getting away with it. And I know I got D-Style on, but I got to make another comment. All right, about this whole Wilder and Ortiz being a bigger fight than Canelo and Golovkin too. Let me tell you something about that. Wilder Ortiz was a fight that people wanted to make. People wanted to see that heavyweight fight for the last 3 years. Plain and simple. That was one of the most anticipated heavyweight clashes post-Klitschko era. That's a fact. When that fight got made, yes, that was one of the biggest fights that could be made for 2018. And that turned out to be a very good fight. All right? Now, what I said is that Golovkin and Canelo, too, could be the biggest fight on paper because they're two power fighters fighting each other. I get that. But the fact is, it could also be a potential letdown. That's a fact. It can be. In your opinion, that's the biggest fight of the year. But it does have to overcome Wilder Ortiz. It does have to overcome Lara Hurd, which is a damn good fight. In my opinion, that fight was better than Wilder Ortiz. It has to overcome Estrada and Saramdasai. Plain and simple. So you have to listen to what I say. But anyways, what's going on, D-Style?
Well, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Coming in good. Yeah, I do. Okay, let me put on my headphones. Hold on.
Is that from my end?
No, it's probably me because I had. Hold on. How about now? Cool.
Yeah, I don't like listening to my own voice.
All right, hold on.
I'm not Sean Yoon, but
you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You know, I've been watching. I know it was already said in the chat, but just out of curiosity, I try to listen to everybody on here. And when I run into Sean Yoon videos, I don't sit there and listen to the whole thing, obviously, but I just go from video to video, and it is astonishing to me when you look at the times that he does the videos, how long he takes to make a video. He does upload them. He doesn't do them live, so it takes a lot of time on YouTube, and it's astonishing. Like, how does this guy have a job? No,
exactly. Like I said, when I do 1 hour videos, their response is towards him because I want to get it.
They only work like 5 hours a week in Thailand. Like, what's going on over here?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Me, I got a life, bro. I don't have time to be making every day 1 hour, 50-minute, or 30-minute videos. Exactly.
And by the way, like he'll drop an hour video by you, and then he'll just then he drops another hour video about something else.
I know.
Like the audacity, like I don't got time, but like dude, you got a lot of time. Okay,
like I said, it's funny though because he made an hour 30-minute video about me talking about I'm not gonna give this time in the world, dude. No, fuck you mean you're not gonna give me the time in the world? You just made an hour 30-minute video about me.
Right.
I was just sitting there laughing. I was like,
it's just the audacity of him saying, I don't have the time, but like, bro, you got a lot of time.
Yeah,
right? Like, you have a lot of time in your hand. I think that's fair to say. Like, stop saying I don't got the time. And also, I think Sean confuses stating some facts with having a valid point. You know,
Right.
I think there's a confusion there. Just stating some facts doesn't mean like, hey, I'm stating facts. All these are facts. Like, okay, like, but your point is still invalid. You know,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What is his, like, I'm trying to understand. Maybe I'm missing something. I listened to the whole video of his, but what's his point?
Well, here's the thing. Okay,
what's his thesis? Well, what's the purpose? What's his point?
Well, he's going around saying that Triple G does not have to take certain fights because there's bigger money fights ahead that he should be taking right now. And my whole point is that people are running. I mean, there's some people who are saying Jamal Charlo deserves a shot more than Golovkin. Okay, that's their opinion. Okay, so be it. Then he's going around. He doesn't like when people are saying that because people are saying that Golovkin and Charlo fight has to happen now. And he doesn't like.
But in other words, it's not going to happen now. He's going to fight Canelo. So, you know what I mean? I think it's a. What's that?
No, go ahead, man.
No, I'm saying that the Canelo fight's going to happen, right?
Yeah, it's going to happen. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it's a point. It's a mute point. Like, he's arguing a point that doesn't really matter, and I don't care how much he makes it sound like it's a. Look, I'll respect anybody's opinion, but at the end of the day, the fight's going to happen. You know, so it doesn't matter if so what if there's members of the LDBC that are calling out Golovkin for not fighting Charlo. Like, so what? Like, I don't get why he gets so like. Why does it become like a? How does he let that revolve around him? Like, you know, it's like he's literally the moon circling the earth here. Right? It revolves. You know, it's unbelievable to me. This guy is obsessed, right?
I told him.
His obsession is scary, right?
Exactly what I said. That is disturbing, man.
I think he's just waiting for you guys to tell him that you love him. That you love him. I think that's what you're waiting for.
Look. Here's the thing, D-Style. I don't know if he lacks comprehension, but the fact is that I did not go out and say that fight has to happen right away. My whole point to him is that what I said to him is that, look, Sean, I'm asking you is that I'm telling you is that Charlo cannot be marginalized. What you're trying to do, you're marginalizing him as if he's not a credible opponent. That he doesn't deserve a Golovkin.
And he's only doing it because he wants to be a contrarian to what he deems is what the LDBC is pushing, and he knows there's a following for people that don't like the LDBC, and he gets views out of that, and he gets support out of that. And he likes to see comments of people. You know, it's unbelievable to me that he likes to police all this shit, right? But here's where Sean Yuen's whole thing falls apart, right?
Yeah.
He never did a video about any of the racist shit. That blatant racist shit that was put out there by a Precise Presenter ever.
Yep.
I never saw him do a video about that. Right?
Yep.
It never happened.
That. Yep.
And when you call him out of that, well, I can't tell people what to do.
You know what? That's funny about that because I called him out on that years ago. He's like, "That's not my problem. I can't control anybody what they want to say."
Which would be, I would respect if he wasn't so obsessed with black channels, which is what's obvious here. But on top of that, his comment section. You know, like, I understand the argument of, look, I don't police every single comment that comes on my channel. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
But you won't go to D Styles Boxing and see it filled with a bunch of racist comments. It's not going to happen, right?
Yeah, you're not going to see that either. I'll take it off if I see it. If
somebody brings it up to my attention, hey, D Styles, this one dude that was saying some racist shit on one of your channels, and that comment's been up for a couple weeks now. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at that, you know? Or I'm going to at least say, like, damn, I didn't catch that. Sean Yuen is, I mean, the number of racist shit that is in his comment section, and he has the audacity to talk about, oh, the LDBC this and all these black channels that. Look at his comment section.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I remember one comment, and one of the uploaders, his screenshot, I forgot who it was. I think it was Reef. But anyways, yeah, it was Reef. But here's the thing. There was one guy who came in there and he wanted to address him and talk about boxing, okay? Called him out on something. And some commenter called this dude a nigger. And Sean replied to not the guy who called this dude a nigger, but the guy who wanted to address him, told him to get a life. I'm like, what the fuck? Did you not see the comment where your comment is calling this dude a nigger?
Well, see, Sean Newman thinks that if I don't say I'm a racist, then I'm not a racist, right? I think that's what he thinks people are stupid like that. But there's a reason the Klan wore hoods, okay? Right? So my point is, your actions speak louder than your words. When I see a lot of these disturbing comments on this comment section, all I could say is, when I've called him out on it, he always says, "Look, I can't police everybody. Everybody has a right to their opinion. This, that, and the third."
Oh man, the irony, the irony.
Then stop talking about other people. Then stop policing people. Stop telling people what to say, right? And to be honest, I think he knows what he's doing here. I think he knows he gets a kick out of the support that he gets.
Well, let's be honest. He knows that. He
knows he knows that Golovkin's resume doesn't compare to Hagler's. He knows that.
Yeah, that's probably. Yeah,
he knows that. I don't care how many times he tries to say otherwise. I know he knows. Right? So it's a stupid argument. You know,
or Hopkins. I can see why he doesn't want to debate me live on it. So that's why I was like, "Come on here, talk."
Yeah, but if you listen to him carefully, he always says something like, he'd always say something along the lines of, I'm not saying it compares, but I'm not trashing the resume of Hopkins, and then he'll start trashing the resume.
Yeah, exactly. He'll talk about, well, De La Hoya was never a middleweight. He didn't have any good middleweight wins. Trinidad was never a middleweight. Brown was never a middleweight. Pass and all this stuff. Glenn Johnson wasn't this, that, and the third. I'm like, bruh. Okay, first of all, you have to understand small men have gone up to fight big men throughout their career. All right. This is before Golovkin.
De La Hoya and Trinidad were big welterweights. It's not like they were like little small dudes, But,
oh yeah, they were big dudes. Even De La Hoya, who started his career at super featherweight, he was a huge super featherweight. People thought he was weight bullying down there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
yeah, he lasted a couple fights, moved up. I mean, he just went through them like nothing. But
yeah, exactly. He went through those small weights,
and he went through them in those first few. He didn't even fight the top guys. He just fought for that WBO title at the time. So
yeah, that's true. He moved up and fought with Lewis. Yeah, right. John Molina, and then Gennaro Hernandez. No, he fought Gennaro Hernandez at super featherweight or lightweight, didn't he? Mm-hmm. He fought Gennaro Hernandez. He fought him at super featherweight, so he did fight the top guy there. He beat him. So that's another point of discussion. Yeah, he fought him at super featherweight. But anyhow, but the fact is that like I said, it's like.
Look at the bottom. Look at this dude's eyes, man. Look at this shit. This guy hasn't gotten any sleep because he's going back and forth with himself at times. By the way, okay.
Yeah.
In many cases, this guy will debate 78 when 70's not even listening to this guy.
Right.
He'll just go back and forth with himself, and I guess the couple of people that watch his videos, But. Why doesn't Sean Newman? It's not just Sean Newman, but why can't he just talk boxing? Why can't he just give us his opinion and leave it at that? Well, why is he so concerned about what other people think?
Well, that's why I don't understand. It's like, okay, look, I understand you could defend your fighter once in a while. We all do that. But God damn it, 24/7, 365, and you make it 40, 50 hour responses on every single video that you do, 50 minutes, an hour, or hour and a half. Dude, when I make hour and a half video responses, it's towards him because I'm actually addressing every single point that he makes in the video. Maybe I should cut that down. That's it. Other than that, when I make post-fight videos, I don't drag it out to like 30 minutes like he does. I don't do all that. I keep it as a minimum of pay, like a 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I don't have time to be doing all those hour-long videos every day. I don't do that. Yeah. That's bizarre to me. It's like, all right, man, are you pulling out the Thunderdome trick? Right. But the fact is, like I said, all I wanted was for him to answer the questions about why those previous opponents like Stevens, Monroe, Rubio, Yoshida, why were they more deserving of a shot at Golovkin at that time than Jamal Charlo? Why they were more important?
Yeah.
He went off to something else, brought in other fighters, which made no sense. I don't know why he did that. I just wanted to answer that question. He just was struggling to answer it.
I honestly think Sean Newman has borderline personality disorder. So I just he is incapable of just. I think he feels he's so insignificant that his own opinion just doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
He keeps telling people that all he does is talk boxing, right?
Yeah,
like, I know. I'm just here to talk boxing. That's all I'm here to do. But that's not what he's doing.
That's not what you're doing. Exactly. You're calling the LDBC house Negroes. Like, motherfucker, you come on here. You call that, say that in their face. Your ass is in trouble.
Well, why did he even say that? Like, what's the context behind him saying that? It doesn't make sense to me.
I know it doesn't. That's why I challenged him. I was like, dude, you don't even know what the term house Negro means. I like if you come on here and explain to us what that means. You know what I'm saying? Now, the fact is that this dude wants to talk about. I'm here to talk about.
Plus, what's with him doing the whole? I heard it until end of when you were playing this clip. Like every time he I don't know why he does this, but he's like, "Oh, I'm not here." Like doing what blacks do. Like, "Oh, look at me, look at," like, you know, he does the whole like imitating the way black people talk. I just, this guy, man, there's something wrong with him. Right,
I said that for a long time, man.
Like there's something seriously mentally wrong with him. Like there really is. Yeah. And I know his response to everything will be, "Oh yeah, you're not being serious. I'm just here to talk boxing." You know, like okay, then just talk about it then.
Yeah,
and just shut up and just talk about it. I remember there was a trend of people here on YouTube that they were going around telling everybody to get back to boxing, right?
Right.
Everybody, let's just get back to boxing. Let's get back to boxing. Let's just talk boxing. But all their videos were about that.
Yeah.
You know, like if you want to talk boxing, there's a lot of boxing you could talk about, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Let me, I want to ask you a couple questions. Let's get off the subject real quick. Sure. Comment section. All right. Let me see. Alexander Mayweather says that then he will put Brook in the same category as De La Hoya and Trinidad. You know what, Alexander Mayweather? I remember a while back, he actually tried to compare Brook fighting Gennady Golovkin to Marlon Starling fighting Michael Nunn.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Are you serious? Kell Brook being compared to Marlon Starling, who's a unified, he was a lineal welterweight champion.
How does he even come up with that conclusion?
Dude, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? I mean, him and his, you know, his ilk.
So what does that make Errol Spence like since he beat?
I don't know.
Since he beat Kell Brook, like, what does it make him?
I don't know. I mean, that win. Let's be honest. That win is not looking that good on the resume. I mean, Kell Brook have to redeem himself. Let's be real. You know. Let me see. Him and his ilk tried. Mr. Doc says him and his ilk tried to say Brook was a better opponent than Roberto Duran. What? Did they really say that, Doc? What the fuck? Okay, let me move on. Bakari King, what's up, Bakari? He says that I'll never forget what he said about Tony Zell. Oh yeah, man, this dude went through Tony Zell's resume. I was like, that was fucking despicable. All right, I remember he made one comment that Tony Zell fought Sugar Ray Robinson, which was a dumb comment because they never fought each other.
What?
Tony Zell fought Sugar Ray Robinson. He's like, I said no, they never fought each other. Number one, and number two. He said that Sugar Ray Robinson was a natural middleweight. Nope, that's not true. He never was a natural middleweight. He was a natural lightweight. All right.
Robinson was fighting at like 150 something when when
he was fighting
160. This was the day before weigh-in era.
Exactly, but he started his career at lightweight.
Yep.
He was a lightweight. He's a naturally small guy. He was never a natural middleweight. I don't know where he got that. He got that from. I mean,
he probably looked at his height.
Yeah, he probably did. I don't know. But let me ask you something about the AJ and Wilder situation. I mean, AJ thing, man. I know we got to talk about this. What's going on here, man? We've been almost 2 weeks now since that 24-hour deadline was announced on the WBA, and we still haven't gotten an official announcement on the Povetkin and Joshua fight.
Yeah, we don't even know what's going on with that. I mean, I thought, according to Eddie Hearn, you know, they had to stop the negotiations with Wilder because he had to move on already. The clock was ticking, you know, according to him. You know, so apparently it's still ticking.
From the looks of it, I mean, I'm looking at their profiles right now. I know Joshua got a TBA on his profile for his next two fights at Wembley, but Povetkin's profile hasn't been updated yet. It's been 2 weeks. I'm wondering what. I mean, look, I believe the fight is done, but it's 2 weeks now, and we haven't got no official announcement.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
maybe Eddie Hearn was just lying that.
Well, I don't know, man. Maybe I should go back to my initial thought that maybe Wilder versus Povetkin is actually going to. I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny though. Bakari just mentioned something in the chat. He said AJ had lost a lot of weight, muscle mass. Yeah, he did. He did. That's, he's lost some weight. What's that all about? Is he trying to improve his stamina, or what do you think why he did that?
Well, there's a lot of different. Some people saying he's getting off the juice.
Yeah, I mean, look, if he hasn't failed a drug test yet, we can't throw that angle. We can't throw that at him. You know what I mean?
But I think people for a while though have been saying that he has to lose muscle mass. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
well, the saying is that if you build more bulky muscles, they kind of disrupt the oxygen that flows within your body, and of course that does affect your stamina, and that's what the theory is. That's what AJ is losing his muscle mass for, so that way he can improve his stamina, because he realizes now that those bulky muscles are not really going to help him in tough fights, so he's going to have to rely on his natural ability going forward. You look great, that's cool, you got the physique, but that ain't going to help you win in big fights. It ain't always about your physique. This ain't no bodybuilding competition.
Physique don't mean shit.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on here, man. I'm confused. In fact, Wilder hasn't even announced the fight yet, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that situation. So I don't know, man. I just hope somebody makes a official announcement. I'm waiting. I am waiting. I don't know, man. But how do you feel about Demetrius Andrade signing with Hearn and Matchroom?
I mean, I'm indifferent about it. I don't care who fighters sign with, to be honest with you. But I think he's going to fight more likely Billy Joe Saunders, right?
Yeah, that's mandated by the WBO. So yeah.
I mean, if it helps to make that fight happen, why not? But I think, in my opinion, I think Billy Joe Saunders wins that fight.
Yeah, I agree. I said that too, man. I know I got a couple minutes, but I said that too, because I think Billy Joe, even though he hasn't been quite as active as we would like for him to be, but he has really been, to me, he's more sharper than Andrade. I think Billy Joe Saunders he's actually one step ahead in my opinion than Andrade. I think he's going to win that fight. Not going to knock him out, no doubt. I don't think that's going to happen, but he'll outpoint him. He's going to outbox him, make him almost look pretty silly. It'll be competitive, but Billy Joe Saunders is going to figure it out.
I think Andrade wins at least 3-4 rounds in that fight.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah, Alexander Mayweather said something in the chat. How does Ortiz have an official fight set up before Wilder and AJ? That's a good question. That's a damn good question.
Because AJ and Wilder are having drama with each other. That's why.
Exactly. And Luis Ortiz, that's another thing I want to talk about, too, because he was supposed to fight Joe Hanks. Joe Hanks pulled out of the fight. Now you got Ron Vucejanu, the guy who fought Joseph Parker, who actually was a sparring partner for years. I mean, Cajanu's a tough guy, but let's be honest, very limited heavyweight. He got knocked out by Donovan Dennis. Why is it Ortiz now all of a sudden back to square one, where he's having a tough time finding opponents? Dillian Whyte pulled out of the fight against him. Like it or not, AJ Fanatics, he did. He pulled out. I know you want to say, well, the moral standpoint in that situation is that Dillian Whyte was supposed to get the mandatory shot. He was supposed to be the first mandatory, this, that, and the third. Okay, fair enough, but he still wasn't a mandatory fight. And if he had gone through that fight, if he had beaten Ortiz, he would have had a man. Well,
according to AJ Fanatics, Ortiz is a piece of cake, and
he's old. He's 48 years old.
So it should be pretty easy. It should be a pretty easy outing for Dillian Whyte if he's the one that's going to beat Wilder, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, wasn't Dillian the guy who trashed that win and say Ortiz was 80 fucking years old? I would knock him out a lot easier. I mean, disrespect to Dillian. Dillian had the chance and he just didn't take it. Then he had to pull that fight. Didn't take that one either. So I'm like, well, no, I'm not want to get off the point a little bit, but the fact is that you had the Dillian Whyte fight that fell through. You had the Joe Hanks. I'm not saying Joe Hanks is a world beater, but dude, pulls out, and now he's got to fight this guy, the sparring partner for Joseph Parker. I mean, to me, it's just disappointing. Now you got people out there that's marginalizing Ortiz again. These fans out there were trying to discredit that win and make Ortiz look like he's nothing. Okay, first of all, let's go back 3 years ago. You remember D-Side where everybody was on here criticizing Wilder, including myself. I'll admit that he's avoiding Ortiz and he's dismissing him. People wanted to see Ortiz and Wilder fight for 3 years. Okay, and remember, these people say that Joshua's going to be there. He's a real champion. He's going to fight Ortiz. He's going to beat him. Watch. See, once he beats Ortiz, yeah, Wilder can't say nothing now. But what happened? Joshua ducked the fight. Now Ortiz ended up fighting Wilder, and Wilder beats him. Now they're trying to marginalize that victory. That's why I don't understand. I do not understand that. You know, it's like, dude, 3 years ago, you guys weren't saying that shit. You guys were talking shit about Wilder ducking the man, saying that Ortiz was going to bash him up, do this, that, and the third, and AJ was going to fight Ortiz before Wilder and watch AJ do to him, and what happened? Oh, you flipped the script. Yeah. You know, it's like, I just don't like the marginalizing of fighters, man, who don't deserve to be marginalized like this, man. I really don't like it.
I hear you. And I think it's unfair to not just, I mean, it's one thing to do it because you don't like Wilder, because that's what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
But I mean, it's unfair to Ortiz, you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's unfair. The man is still top 5 heavyweight. He's still legit. Give the man a shot. It's like, the man, look, I understand he's got to fight his way to get a title shot again. I get, but he can't be marginalized like this. He got a family to feed. You know what I'm saying? His daughter's got special needs. He got to take care of his daughter and his family. And these dudes are not trying to give him a shot. I mean,
plus, I don't want to hear, well, he didn't pass the test, and neither did Povetkin. So
yeah, exactly. And when AJ's fighting him, I mean,
it's kind of like I know it's a different sport, but it's kind of like Cormier talking shit about that he doesn't have to prove anything to John Jones. John Jones failed test, but he's about to fight Brock Lesnar. Right.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's the irony, man. The irony, man. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's like I said, man, I had to bring that up about 3 years ago when everybody was getting on Wilder for ducking Ortiz. Everybody, even those who hated Wilder till now. But all of a sudden, again, Wilder takes the fight. AJ didn't take the fight, as they said, oh, AJ's going to take the fight. AJ's going to do a number on Ortiz. He didn't take the fight. And now all of a sudden, they flipped the script. The videos are still out. I see the videos. They're still out. I see
Pulev's going to fight Miller next?
No, Miller pulled out of the fight.
Because usually it's Pulev that Pulev's out of the fight.
He usually does, yeah. But Miller pulled out because he didn't want to go to Bulgaria. But Hugh Fury stepped in now. Hugh Fury's fighting Pulev now. Hey, what's up, Coach? Coach Shell Harris is in the chat. What's going on, Coach?
Coach.
Coach. Yo.
Look, man, all I could tell you about this whole heavyweight situation is this, right? AJ fans, right, they have no interest in okay, I can't generalize completely, but a good amount of them, right?
Yeah.
They don't have any interest in making these fights that we want to see happen. They just want to protect AJ. That's all they want to do.
Well, I think, let me just say this, man. I'm going to be fair here. I mean, you may have some point to it. I think that if his opponent that they know AJ has a good chance, a very great chance of winning, they have no problem with him fighting wherever they want him to fight. You know what I mean? This was like how this whole thing with the American thing. And let me be fair. I criticized Wilder too. I'll be fair here. But the fact is that this whole American thing, that AJ doesn't have to come to America and fight. Okay, I get that. But if you want to maximize your profits, it is here in the States. There's no question about that. And AJ and Hearn had no problem taking the Crisco rematch here in Vegas. I don't live in Vegas, but here in the United States of Vegas. The fans had nothing to say about that. They were fine with that because obviously when AJ beat Klitschko, oh, that's no problem. We'll take care of him in the rematch no matter where it's at. But when it comes to Wilder coming to the States, oh, that's a big problem. We're not sure about that. We have to have the fight here. It has to be in the UK. I'm like, okay, I have no problem with Wilder being there in the UK, but why is everybody so over anxious about that? It's like, Jesus Christ, it doesn't matter where the fight's going to be. Let's get it on. It's like, I mean,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's like, like I said, man, it's just like I said, I know some of them they're cool, but it's just let's be rational here, okay? I think that again, I think I think AJ's team himself. I think AJ believes he could beat Wilder anywhere. I think his handlers don't believe it. They're waiting for Wilder to slow down for another year or two. I think that's what they're doing. They're waiting for him to slow down. That's what they're doing. Yeah, that's my.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, Alexander Mayweather says that the AJ Wilder situations turned out to be Canelo Triple G. They just come get me when they fight. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of similar in a way because Canelo actually waited 2 years for Triple G to slow down. And I said that too. 3 years ago, I said the same thing. Canelo's waiting for him to slow down. Let's be real. That's exactly what happened. They took the fight. Yeah, Bakari says, Wilder said plenty of times he had no problem going to the UK. Yeah, he did say that. He said that many times,
And if AJ and his team, if they don't want that criticism, then fight him now. Then
yeah, fight him right now. But like I said, we ain't gonna get the fight now. Let's not harp about it. Let's hope what happens next year. Let's hope it happened in April. But now I'm hearing Dillian White rematch is gonna happen in April. I don't know about that one. I don't know. I mean, Dillian White's going to have to look good against Joseph Parker for that to even be for that to hold any water. I mean, let's say the first fight was very good. Let's not dismiss it. And I don't mind seeing the rematch, but it'll be surprising if that happens. Then Wilder versus Fury may happen afterwards.
True.
I know the AJ. I mean, not AJ, but AJ and his handlers are going to be mad about that one if that happens. They're going to be pissed because they've been trying to get that Fury fight for years, for a few years now. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, let me go ahead and wrap this up, y'all. I mean, y'all. Hey, man, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate you chopping it up.
Peace.
Peace, man. Hey, Mr. Doc, Coach, Bakari, Alexander Mayweather, D-Style, Chris, all you guys, thank you for coming on. I'm about to get off right now. Mike for Pound Boxing Report, the Texan, 1224529, Mala, always a pleasure, Kiwi Box. Sean Rosum, I haven't seen you in a long time, bro. Long time no talk. Rock 89. Oh man, I thank you guys, man. I really appreciate it. So other than that, I know I have to ramble about Sean Newton's contradictory comments, but again, he came after me again. So all I want is an honest conversation. That's all. And now he's trying to make it look like that I'm having sour grapes or something like that. I don't know what the guy's problem is. But anyways, guys, it was fun chopping it up. I haven't done a hangout in a long while. I know Hamed was supposed to come on here, but I know he's sleeping on his time zone. But Hamed, shout out to you, man. I promise you I'm going to go ahead and do this a lot earlier when I have time. I should have time by this week to do this a lot earlier. So anyways, man, guys, I'm out.